Welcome to the Shame Game, where the name of the game is Shame and I am your jester of shame. The topic for today's video is Bride of Discord. Has this been relevant in the past 5, even 10 years? No. Am I going to talk about it because I'm obsessed with it right now? Absolutely. Okay. I was introduced to Bride of Discord in elementary school, 5th grade. So it really kind of holds a nostalgia for me. Not anything weird. Yeah, nothing else. And now, it's time for the Book of Shame. The Book of Shame is a notebook I keep all my video ideas and notes for videos. Bride of Discord is a 2015 My Little Pony audio drama that originated from a fan fiction. Both were created by the same creator, Disney fanatic 2364. Bride of Discord is also a Beauty and the Beast retelling in which Fluttershy is the beauty and Discord is the beast. A little plot summary for people who haven't seen it. Bride of Discord takes place after Discord's first show appearance. He escapes being turned to stone by the main 6 and disappears for 3 years, coming back only to cause chaos and take a bride. Fluttershy eventually steps forward to be this bride, and the story follows their budding relationship as everyone else freaks out about their friends pony napping. I have a lot of opinions, but we'll start with the good ones. A good overarching positive about this whole series is the community involvement. This story takes a lot of artists and a lot of voice actors to come together and create such a masterpiece, as we're choosing to call it. The My Little Pony fandom, especially in 2015, being a very community-centric fandom. I'm glad so many creators could come together to work on this piece. Surprisingly, technical things have a lot of positives. The background music and just the background audio was really ambient for me, and I think a lot of people that have seen the series can agree. It's kind of jarring between scenes where, it might be at different qualities, but all in all, I noticed a couple times during the series how good it was. I also feel like the impressions were insanely good. I never once questioned who was talking. Everyone had their own distinct voice. Even if it wasn't exactly what the character sounded like, it had their essence, their flaunt, and everything.
You should have stayed in exile, Discord.
So, I applaud the voice actors. With the impressions, the people singing, these impressions were also crazy good. I definitely knew who was singing. The only one I can really sit through is On My Own, which is something that Applejack sings, even though I don't really love the content. On my own, pretending he's beside me. But yeah, nothing to be hyped over. Something I feel like everyone talks about is the title. Yeah, it is really long. It just is really, really long. The script. I think this is my longest section. This is actually mostly the script and the story, but the script specifically. It felt so half-baked. I feel like half the time the voice actors were just making lines up on the spot or extending lines where it said, insert funny joke here. And it oftentimes made a lot of scenes make even less sense than they already did. The pacing. This is surprisingly a short section for how many problems I have with it. The narrations at the beginning and the end of the series are just too long. They're too long. Show, don't tell. This does so much telling, it makes me want to explode. The first few episodes, honestly, are really good with this story pacing, but as soon as Fluttershy goes with Discord, it just gets so long. There's so much time doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then, at the end, they just speed right through it like they didn't just spend the last 5 episodes doing nothing. It's not like Discord and Fluttershy are dancing around topics physically. They're not doing anything interesting. There's maybe 2 scenes where they do interesting activities. The rest of it is conversations. I know as audio stories, it has to be told through conversations. But oh my god, how many times are they going to talk about the same 3 topics? It always goes, you're so pretty, I own you, when are we getting married? There's nothing else that goes on for the rest of the series until the end. And also, furthermore, Fluttershy doesn't even confess to loving Discord until the last episode of the series, in the last scene before the time skip. She doesn't love him until the last episode. She actually spends the previous episode stating she doesn't love him. Not just in the scene where obviously she's pressured into saying that. He asked her, "Do you love me?" And she goes, "No." What's the point of me watching them? And then all of a sudden they love each other and get married in the last episode. It's not realistic pacing. It's not even good pacing. Even if it was unrealistic. It's aggravating is what it is. The next section, that ship. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, it's Apple Spike. Apple Spike is a ship between Applejack, the adult, and Spike, the actual child. And if you like this ship, I'm calling your mom. And probably the police. Because what do you mean a 7-year difference? While there is really no official age of the main 6, they're all assumed to be about young adults. Violet seems to be coming from college, and most of them live on their own. I think realistically they can be between the ages of 19 and 23. And if that's a 7-year difference, Spike at the oldest is 16, and the youngest, 12. 12, which is basically what I assume it is, because in this series, he admits, I'm practically a teenager.
I may look like a baby, Applejack, but in pony years, I'm practically a teenager. Dragons just happen to age a little slower than ponies.
With the fact that he says that dragons age slower than ponies, it would mean that he's actually even younger than that. Do I think that in the show it was weird that they pushed Spike and Rarity? Yeah. Do I think you should then go out and ship whatever you want with Spike because, oh, well, the show did it? No, God, please, no, is all I have to say. With this comes the unfortunate villainization of Rarity for, guess what, not wanting to date a minor. She literally gets scolded in the last episode and she's like, well, I don't know what to do because he likes me so much and I don't want to break his little dragon heart, which is kind of fair. How do you reject a child who seems to be infatuated with you? It can be hard and maybe a sensitive topic because, as she admits, she does care for him. He is a friend of hers. What's weird is hating your friend for not wanting to date your minor crush. That's weird. That's weird. Not only is the ship so thrown into the series, it doesn't really have a place. Places are just kind of created for it. Is that Applejack is now making every situation about her. Especially after Fluttershy has been kidnapped. Every time Fluttershy is brought up and people question if she's okay, or, her relationship with Discord and why it's kind of weird, she makes it about herself. She makes it some weird metaphor about how she actually likes Spike, and everyone just looks at her like she's crazy because she is. Half the time Spike is just going, what the frick are you talking about? And I tried to keep this as respectful as possible, but I just... And for the fact that this is a My Little Pony audio drama, friendship apparently is not magic. The friends are just pinned against each other for the sake of plot, multiple times in this series, the previous section being a perfect example of that. And we don't really see them working together in the series anyways. We see them work together at the beginning at the gala, which was one of my favorite scenes, and at the end when they're fighting off the Timberwolves. That's it. The rest of the time they're fighting. Fighting over Fluttershy, their friend, but fighting nonetheless. Nobody can get a word out without somebody else disagreeing or literally just talking over them. The biggest culprit of this is Rainbow Dash. So much for the element of loyalty. She doesn't listen to Twilight or anyone else, and oftentimes just storms off angrily instead of talking things out with the rest of the group, which can be seen as in character for her, but just mostly makes her seem unlikable. And the group as a whole is constantly mean towards Fluttershy. There's a scene at the beginning where they're talking about Fluttershy's stage fright, and nobody has anything nice to say. They call her a crybaby and tell her to get over it.
What about her stage fright?
Oh, please, it's high time she got over it.
That's not friendship! Somebody else they're mean to is Pinkie Pie. Though I think this Pinkie Pie may deserve it a little bit. That's my girl. There's a scene that appalls me with Pinkie. She's saying something, I can't even remember what. Everybody tells her to stop, and she responds with, "Please don't hurt me."
You know what this calls for?
No!
Okay, don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
Well, I know that's supposed to be a joke. Oh my god, girl, are you okay? Blink twice if you need help. Even in the song Dear Friend Fluttershy, where they sing about missing their dear friend, some of these characters are so selfish. Rarity and Applejack's sections are both about boys and not about their friend. Applejack's is about missing somebody to talk to about her own problems.
I work real hard to pass the time, booking apples and baking pie. No matter what I try, I cannot get that dragging off my mind. I need a friend to comfort me, on whom I can rely. That thing that's missing from my life is none other than my dear friend Fluttershy.
Your friend is kidnapped. Your friend is being held hostage. And Rarity literally doesn't even mention her until Dear Friend Fluttershy. She talks about her relationship with frickin' Fancy Pants the whole time.
Look at him, he's so refined, charming and handsome too. Although he is good company, I can't help feeling blue. No stallion can help me with what I'm going through. There's something missing in my life, and that something is my dear friend Fluttershy.
I just don't understand how something inspired and has characters from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, is so devoid of genuine friendship. The next section is basically just the beef I have with all the characters. Best to worst. Sorta. Twilight, I think she's the best written character out of this whole series. She worries a lot, but it's all in character. I think some of her potential is wasted on her constant worrying, but with the content of the series, I get it.
How could I have let this happen?
You've been asking yourself that for the past hour!
Rainbow Dash. She feels like a simplification of her My Little Pony counterpart. She's constantly aggressive and jumps in without thinking, which can be on character for her, but to this extent, I don't think so.
We're going to behave.
Why, Ayada?
She's constantly aggressive to the point where she doesn't listen to her friends, and that just isn't her character. Applejack. She's weirdly shy in the series, presumably because of her crush, and not only is it out of character, it never gets addressed. Which is weird because when other characters act out of character, it does get addressed. She also is constantly lying to everyone. She's put in situations where she has to lie, and she admits that she chooses to lie specifically to Spike.
Oh, why can I never be honest with him?
Speaking of Spike, Spike is a pretty fun character in the show. In this, he seems to only be used for the plot. He's unhelpful, inconsiderate, and a bumbling idiot.
What does my crush on Rarity have to do with Fluttershy?
The plot of this makes him such an unlikable character because it forces him to be this stupid guy. Rarity. She is a disgusting oversimplification of her character. She rarely talks about fashion and only talks about boys. Her entire plot is to like boys, to like Fancy Pants. And when she does talk about fashion, it's in such a selfish way. There's a scene where Fluttershy gives up her clothes to Rarity.
Rarity, you can keep my clothes if you like.
Don't be silly. I'll donate them. They're not in my size.
This and her designing dresses is all we see of her in fashion. The rest of her character is just about boys, which is really upsetting because I like Rarity as a character. I think she's a strong female character. The fact that they strip her of this and make her boy crazy ruins her character. She's not Rarity anymore. She just likes boys. Pinkie Pie. I love Pinkie Pie. She is one of my all-time favorite My Little Pony characters. Since I was little, since I was small, I loved Pinkie Pie. I saw so much of myself in her. And they made her such an idiot. She's like on crack all of the time.
Fluttershy! Fluttershy! Fluttershy has got my Bible! Now you've done it, Rarity!
And from what we see, she doesn't even care about friendship. She only cares about parties.
Fluttershy!
Nice going, Sweetie Belle.
I was going to throw her a party. I was going to be out in her garden. I was going to give this to her as a gift. Now I'll never know she'll like it. Yada yada. Cordially invited. Fleischer's birthday party. You mean? Birthday party!
And I know I said earlier to get off her back. That girl needs help. She needs help. Because of this idioticness they forced into her character, she becomes a horrible person. She adds to Discord's chaos in such a horrible and negative way.
Ooh! Super giant rock'em sock'em ponies! I love this game! Wow! What does this button do? Ow! What'd you do that for? I didn't! Ow! Stop that! Ow! Wait! This is fun! Stop it!
I want to hurt her too! Oh, I want to kick that girl! I hate characters that are supposed to be funny just by being stupid. And I think they took a character that was genuinely funny and genuinely just a fun, loving person and made her horrible, unfunny, and just the most annoying character ever. To calm down a little bit, Fluttershy is next. Fluttershy is my favorite character in all of My Little Pony. She's not necessarily one of the worst on this list. She's just this far down because I have a lot to say. I think she has a really good character in this. Her shyness is basically on point. I like that even though she's shy, she has a lot of brave moments. She stands up to Rainbow Dash at the gala about her fear.
I don't really feel like singing.
Don't tell me you still got stage fright. Come on, don't you remember how you helped us with that tornado?
Singing is different from flying.
She makes her decision clear to Applejack before she leaves.
If I don't go, the sun may never rise again, and Cadence will never have her baby. Applejack, it's either me or all of Equestria.
If this is your decision, Sugar Cube.
She even straight up tells her friends, I don't care what you think, I'm doing what I choose for myself, which is amazing.
I don't need your approval. I'm going back to Discord whether you like it or not.
Even Twilight, at the end, admits, Fluttershy, you are so brave now.
Wow. You've really changed, Fluttershy. For one thing, you're much braver. You haven't shuddered or squealed once since we entered the forest.
And it's all for naught. As soon as Discord gets added into the mix, she becomes this helpless woman at a man's command. She's not able to stand up for herself, and I know it's not just because she fears him, okay? I feel like she gets over that pretty quickly, and she only gets what she wants when she whines and cries.
You want me to stop crying? Then let me see my friends.
And I understand she's going to cry. She's missing her friends. It makes sense in the story. But I wish she'd literally do anything else. Even when Twilight mentions her braveness, it's completely thrown out the window because Discord has to then come save her from the Timberwolves. I just wish she had a stronger personality. It would have been great. I'm not saying make her out of character. I'm saying make her actually have that character growth. I wanted to actually see her grow from this timid, meek person to be able to stand up for herself against this scary creature. And we're almost there. We're almost there. But even in the confession, he's dominating the conversation. She has like one line where she's like, it's your turn to listen. And that's it. It felt so sexist and misogynistic that Discord acted the way he did. And speaking of Discord, he is the next section. The last section of this video. Discord, is also one of my favorites, coming in really, really close to Fluttershy. I love him so much. I think their dynamic within the show is great. I love his redemption, and I love him as a villain. He's funny and entertaining and evil and powerful. And I think he's a great mirror to the elements of harmony and chaos. But I can't put into words how much I hate him in this series. I also understand why they didn't have his redemption in this story. It makes sense why he disappears and comes back as a villain. I think it's fun. What I don't like is the fact that he's a major creep every time he opens his mouth, specifically about Fluttershy. It's either to make a weird comment about the way she's attractive or alluring, or it's to tell her that he owns her.
You promised yourself to me, and you are going to be my wife, love me or not!
And when he's not doing that, he's growling? For reference, this is like the third thing he says as soon as he takes Fluttershy to his castle.
My. She's even lovelier when unconscious.
Why would you say that? Stuff like that is weird, but it could have been made better if he redeemed himself. But he doesn't. There's an episode called The Relapse, which is supposed to be about Discord relapsing on his behavior after being really good. Here's the thing, he's never good. He acts the same way before, during, and after the whole situation, and then continues to act that way in the sequel. Again, another video, another day. But he doesn't change at all. What was the point of this whole series if he wasn't going to change? And it's not like people's opinions change on him. Even in the wedding scene, people groan when they kiss.
You may now kiss.
Before then, Rainbow Dash brings up all the bad things he did.
Are we all seriously okay with this? I mean, it's Discord! Discord! Remember? Spirit of chaos and disharmony? Trying to take over Equestria? Twice? Thrice? Nearly forced Fluttershy into marriage and almost killed us? That Discord?
I wanted to like Discord so bad. I wanted to ship Fluttercord so hard. But the fact that he's a major creep who never redeems himself was a little hard to get over. Especially when he was constantly doing things like this.
Monster? That's a bit strong of a word, don't you think? Oh, do let me know if you want another dance, my dear. I'll be looking forward to your call. Anything my lovely bride wants.
Please don't call me that. It really makes me uncomfortable.
Well, you'll have to get used to it, my dear, because you are my lovely bride. But if any of you ponies try to stop me, your princesses get it. That includes the unborn one.
So you see why I hate him. And the fact that he was in 90% of this made it kind of a hard watch. Do I think Bride of Discord is a good piece of media? No. Do I think it's a product of its time? Yes. Do I also think it's iconic? Absolutely. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's an experience. One that I somehow enjoyed. And this is no hate to the original creator. I'm just a person with a camera and loud opinions. That's the end of my rant. If you have any topics you'd like me to talk about, or any feedback, please drop it down in the comments below. I hope you have a great day. Toodles!
Cadence is with childs.